Welcome to Short Game Long Talk, a video game podcast for a hectic life. I am Eric, one of your co-hosts, and I'm joined by our guest host and also perpetual third host of this podcast, Grace. How are you doing, Grace?
Oh, hi. I'm good. How are you, Eric?
I'm good. So for this episode, we announced this, Little Kitty Big City. Grace played it on the Switch. I played it on the Steam Deck. I played it a little bit actually, like on my computer, like Steam Deck docked. So I played it with like a controller and stuff. So I have both experiences, which were kind of cool. About how long did it take you, Grace, to beat it?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. It took an embarrassing amount of time. Probably like a solid 6 hours.
6 hours
of gameplay.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be 6 hours. But I was having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, we'll get into that during spoiler section because I have a feeling like a lot of this stuff will be spoilers. Mine was about 3 hours, and I think that's about the average is about 3 hours. And I think like minus technical difficulties, I think you can complete this game like 100% in like 4.5 hours. Because,
it's possible
because I think I definitely like did a lot of achievements, and when I finished the game, I had no quests, but that doesn't mean I didn't get all the quests. But like I had completed everything that I had been given by the world. But yeah, a little backstory on Little Kitty Big City. This is a game that was kind of announced back in 2021 during an indie showcase, and it had a Steam Next Fest, I think is what it's called, demo come out last year. And streamers loved it, so that's kind of what brought it to my attention. And it was released this year in May, so this is a very new game. It's May 9th, 2024. It's available on Game Pass, and then you can play it on PC, Switch, and then you can buy it on Xbox if you want, but just get Game Pass. It's like you can get it for $15 and get a bunch of other games for the month. Like the title says, you are a tiny little black cat in a small Japanese city. Grace, you've been to Japan. How like accurate was the depiction of like a Japanese little town? Because this is clearly not like Tokyo. Like the tallest building might have been like, 15 stories high, like an apartment building, which is where we're trying to get back to.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's pretty accurate. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. All the buildings were like different styles, which I think is like something very unique to Japan. Is like here we have like here and where you're at.
Yeah.
There's like communities that are all built at the same time, and so everything looks aesthetically the same. In Japan, it'll be like from one building to the next. It could be like one could be like a modern style, and the other one could be a traditional style, and then you could have like a neon green house next to that, and then like so everything's very different from each other,
so that's
and that's
cool.
how the buildings were in the game as well.
That is cool that they like got that accurate, because there's like a playground with like a robot next to a like pond with like a shrine. Like they're like right next to each other. But yeah, the premise of the game is basically you're a little cat hanging out on the side of a building where your like favorite nap spot is, and you get scared by a bird, and you get like you basically the most like cartoon intro ever of like you grab onto a raven, the raven drops you like slide down like a pole, you get scared by a dog, and then you land in a trash can on the bottom of the street. And basically that's where it starts. It's third person. You have like a couple buttons. You can jump, you can sneak, you can run. You can like, if you hold down the jump button, you can like precision jump. There's a meow button that does nothing, but it's cute. And then you can pick up objects like balls.
You can swat things.
Oh,
too.
Yes, you can swat things, which is hilarious. Like, just the greatest. And that's basically it. And your whole goal is basically to get back up to the apartment. But the apartment is extremely high up, so you have to find these little fish throughout there's 4 of them total. And you have to find them through either buying one, a puzzle, stealing one, and then you'll be able to climb your way back up to the apartment building. The style is very, very cute. What did you think of the style of this game?
I thought it was adorable. It's like it was reminiscent of like a Pixar movie, I felt like. Yeah, so it was it was a joy to play.
Yeah.
The people are completely faceless, which is interesting.
Yeah. Because they're not important. But they're just tools. No. Everything, all the animals are important in this world.
They're just NPCs.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, the animals were all super cute.
Yeah. And then, oh my God, yeah, the dialogue in this game is so funny. Like, I legit, found myself laughing quite a bit just from the dialogue. Especially when you meet the Shiba Inu, who also, the cat and the Shibu find out that their nicknames are both Potato. And they're
That's right.
They're like, well, you can be Big Potato and I can be Little Potato. They're like, all right, thanks, Little Potato.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so great.
They bonded.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is no one's really rude. I like that there's not even the animals that are kind of snarky. There's not really anybody that's a jerk. Everyone, it's a pretty wholesome game overall. It's just kind of exploring the city and opening up paths to other ways. And then there's just portals that you can unlock as well, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I'm trying to think what else to discuss about the game before, because I don't want to spoil moments really, because that's what the whole game is. The game wasn't too difficult control wise, and the puzzles weren't too hard. If you just kind of explored, you'd find the answers. The quests were fairly straightforward, and what was really nice about the quests for the most part, aside from one which is the chameleon quest, if you were given a quest, the answer to that quest was within 15 feet typically. It might be hidden, but it was all pretty close, which was cool. Because there's one quest where they tell you to find a yellow bird, and I was like, shit, that's gonna be so hard, and it was right outside. It's all right, cool. That was nice and easy. So, don't stress too much if you end up playing this game. I definitely highly recommend this game. I think it's you got it for what, $20 or something like that, or did you get it on sale?
No, I think I did get it for 20. I think it was 24.
Yeah. I definitely think it's worth it. It's definitely a game where I can see myself sitting down on a lazy Saturday a year from now and replaying it because it's just fun.
Yeah. And you can also beat the game without finishing all the quests, right? And you can continue to play in order to 100% the game.
Right. Yeah. And I think for me, I would think the most you would need, the most one you would need is 3 of the fish to get to the top, because I don't feel like I was ever struggling to climb once I got 4.
But you never found the 4th fish?
No, I did.
Oh yeah,
I got it. Nice. I got the 4th one, but I felt like I never got too close to falling once I had all 4. So I'd be curious. I'd also be curious. I'm very curious to see a speed run of this. If there's somebody who just breaks the game somehow,
that'd be
fun.
So chaotic.
Yeah, because I'm sure we'll get into it during spoiler section, but your experience with technical difficulties, I'm sure somebody is well, I can break the game now with this.
Oh yeah, maybe. I have another video I meant to send you.
Oh man,
regarding technical difficulties.
Oh,
I'm gonna send it right now.
Yeah. We can look at it later. But yeah, this is a really good game. I would highly recommend it, especially if you have any fondness for cats. The rewards for this game most of the time are little hats that you get to wear that are very cute, and then also emotes big stretch and ice sits and things like that. They're very they understand their audience. Whoever wrote this game, it's Matt T. Wood is the director. And I think he was the one who, founder Matt Wood. He said the inspiration was were his cats Mario and Roxy and his children. So, he's a cat person and clearly understands that. He personified really well what I think a little cat would be. Because sometimes the dialogue where they say something, they're like, "Well, what?" The cat's just very whimsical of being oh, I didn't know that, even though it's completely fabrication. That
right.
It's great, but we'll talk more about the characters in the spoiler section because I think discovering those for yourself is important because some of you don't want to know everything that's in this game.
No, they're always very fun surprises.
Yeah,
Go play.
Go play. And then, listen to our intermission, and then you can leave and then come back and listen to us talk about our favorite moments of the game, which honestly won't take that long. Because that's the other nice thing about this game is like the moment to moment's pretty quick. And like, it's not like, oh man, this was like super hard or I was frustrated or anything like that. Like, you can always replay this game. I could probably beat this game in like 2 hours next time I play it, I feel like. Just because it was just a fun time and it was intuitive. But I'm saying all this without having a single tech issue, so I'm very curious when we get to that point. That's definitely what we'll open with.
My eyebrows are at my hairline. My eyebrows are just raised so high.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. That's I've been very curious because I wanted to ask more questions, but sticking with not spoiling it for myself, I haven't asked any questions. So that'll be the opening for spoiler section, is like, what happened?
Yeah.
But cool. Okay. Well, with that, we will take a break and head into our intermission where we'll catch up on some things because Elden Ring came out. Elden Ring's DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree, came out, and I beat it, and it's great. So I'll be talking about it.
You beat it?
Yeah, I beat it in like a week and a half.
Oh my God.
I put in like 40 hours in a week and a half. We'll get into it during the intermission. So, little teaser. If you're interested in that, we'll see you guys in a second. All right, we are back, and Grace has some Pokemon news, which was shocking to me, but I'm happy to know that I've contributed to any kind of Pokemon obsession. So, Grace, tell me about your Pokemon news.
Yeah, no, I'm obsessed with Pokemon Sleep.
Okay.
I'm addicted. I've gamified sleeping.
Yeah.
Pokemon has gamified sleeping, and I'm here for it. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. Clefable is telling me I need to go to sleep now.
First they gamified walking and adventure, and now they've gamified sleeping. Next it'll be Pokemon Eat.
Exactly.
God. I'd be so down for Pokemon
Get your
Eat.
Protein in, and you have like a Machop or whatever.
Yeah, you take a picture of your plate, they're like, there's not enough greens on it.
Bulbasaur just like shriveling.
Yeah. Oh God, no. I would do anything to not have Bulbasaur shrivel, so that would motivate me.
You gotta eat your greens, man.
I do. I eat really well, so I wouldn't have an issue, but that would be so funny. That
would be really like a Tamagotchi, like a really fucked up Tamagotchi.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's awful.
So yeah, I'm not as crazy. Not to say that they're crazy, but there are some people that like know what they're doing when they're playing Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah, how do you play Pokemon Sleep first off?
So every week you get a new Snorlax, and you can like travel between different islands as you like unlock them.
Okay.
And you sleep. You have a little you sleep, and Snorlax is sleeping attracts other Pokemon to sleep around him, and then you can like give them little cookies, and they become your friend, and then you can build a little team that like goes around and collects berries and ingredients and stuff for Snorlax. And that powers Snorlax up, which makes him stronger when he's sleeping. And if you like get your full night's sleep, then like it boosts it even more, all that stuff.
And it tracks based off of like, you have to have the phone in bed with you, right? When you're sleeping. Okay.
Yeah. And it can record sound too.
It's like based off your breathing or something like that.
Movement.
Oh.
Yeah. It it can track the movement of the bed.
Interesting.
Which I guess maybe is a little bit tricky. Because I'm married.
Right. You sleep with somebody else.
Yeah. And Johnny is like he moves around a lot, and I do not.
So you get the sleeping, the tossing and turning Snorlax or whatever.
Yeah, it always thinks I'm tossing and turning.
That's so funny. Yeah, I thought about that too, because like I don't sleep with my phone in bed. It has a little stand on my nightstand, and I don't think I could sleep with my phone in my bed.
Yeah. So what I've been doing is I pull my pillow down a little bit, and it goes like above my pillow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm getting pretty good despite the fact that I don't really know what I'm doing. So each Pokemon that you befriend has like stats.
Okay.
And there are some stats that are better than others. Apparently, I don't really understand it, to be honest. I'm just
You're not in the meta game.
No, I can't do the metagame. I'm not that good.
Metafy sleeping.
Exactly. But like every week, the Snorlax you find has their favorite berries. So you got to switch your team up so that they're collecting the right berries because each Pokemon only collects a specific berry.
Okay.
So it's like stuff like that. It's really cute though to think about.
I've seen pictures. They look really cute.
Yeah. And like your Pokemon are just collecting berries and putting them in this box for Snorlax to eat all day. Mm-hmm. You know, like how freaking cute is that?
And then they sleep, right?
And then they all sleep, and you get like the cutest little pictures of sleeping Pokemon in different positions.
Yeah, that is cute.
Yeah,
I've seen I've seen a lot of pictures of it, and it seems very cute. So
it's so cute.
Maybe I'll report back with my Pokemon sleep.
Give it a shot.
I'm very regimented.
At the end of the week, it grades how good you slept.
Oh,
I got a D last week. And that's like bad. The first time. I know. I've been getting like A's and S ranks. And then I got a D last week. And I was like, full. It's because I was working some catering events. And so then I was like out and awake way later than normal.
Right.
And then up really early the next day. So.
You were a professional sleeper there for a minute.
Dude, I was. And I am like sleeping with a vengeance this week.
Got an S tier on my sleeping last night. Like
I need to get a fucking S tier this week, dude. I gotta make up for the D. I can't believe it.
That's awful. That's so funny. Like a D rank. You slept so bad the game was like roasting you. Like a D.
I know, but honestly, like I'm like pissed and I'm motivated to sleep better. So just like if at the end of the day, yeah, anything for Snorlax, man. Anything for Snorlax.
That's so funny. And you do not like the little Pokemon like cozy thing you bought. Is that a Snorlax thing?
Yes.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Okay, so if anybody out there knows Gelato Peak, they did a collaboration with Pokemon Sleep. There's a Pikachu set, I think a Jigglypuff set, and a Snorlax set. Yeah. And while the Jigglypuff set was really cute and I was very tempted, and same with the Pikachu, I do not look good in yellow, and the pink was like way too pale to look good on my very pale skin. So I got the Snorlax one.
Yeah.
It's so comfy. Oh
it looks very cute and comfy. So
it's so comfortable.
Yeah, that's...
But it's really hot, so it's like the worst timing ever to buy it.
Yeah, you got it like a couple months ago, right? So it was still kind of nice, but...
It's really, really warm.
Yeah.
So, but now I have it for when the winter rolls.
You have it forever, probably.
Forever.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, I've always wanted to lay down in those giant Snorlax like bean bags.
The bean bags?
Yeah.
Johnny wants to replace our freaking bed with one of those giant ones.
I feel like that would be problematic. Like, I feel
oh my God.
Like, we're all 30 and up. Like, we can't be sleeping on those.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
We can sit on them and relax in them, but like a full 8 hours of sleeping, like you would wake up looking like an Egyptian hieroglyphic. Like that would be so bad. You'd be so like God. Your angles would be all off.
Right.
And then
we're definitely too old for that.
You said you were playing Pokemon Go too. So like what is your experience with Pokemon Go? Because I was there. I walked like 40 miles in the first week that game came out during Pokemon Go summer, and like I was obsessed for like 2 months, and then it just like they changed everything, and I was like, I don't like this anymore, and I haven't really gone back. But is this your first time into Pokemon Go, or are you like...
No, I was a part of the first wave also of Pokemon Go. Yeah, I also lost interest, but here's the thing is I recently re-downloaded it. You don't have to do it the way that like it's supposed to be played.
Okay.
I don't think, like because there's all these like raid battles and like communities and like teams and whatever. I'm like on a catch and release kind of a thing. I'm just trying to fill my Pokedex, but if it's not a cute Pokemon, I don't want it. I send it away. It's off to the professor you go.
I'm so excited for our eventual Pokemon episode because I want to know, like,
I know
what your team was.
Yeah, you don't even know what my final team was, which is so funny. Dude, it's going to be such a good episode, you guys. Just be ready.
I'm so excited. We have to like pressure Jess to finish. I haven't, she just got back from her trip. I haven't like touched base with her on where she's at with that game, but
it's coming though.
Yeah. It's coming. Maybe like we'll do like November. It can be my birthday present.
Perfect. Yeah. So, what was it? Oh yeah, but I am a server. So I keep my phone in my apron and I'm just hatching eggs all day because I walk like 6 miles per shift.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just walking around all day, every day.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And like I mentioned, I did a catering event and it was like a supper club, like multi-course thing for this huge venue for like over 200 people. I think I put in 25,000 steps that day.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a trip to Disneyland.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But that's just work.
That's crazy, dude.
So, I'm hatching eggs left and right.
And you're a hatchery.
I'm a hatchery. I got a shiny Togepi that's like a 3-star ranking too, just recently. And I was like, this is everything.
Okay, so you're aware of shinies. I'm very curious if you ran into any during your
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. I usually run into at least one.
But on Pokemon Sleep, there's shinies too.
Oh, shit.
And then Pokemon Go, there's shinies. So I'm loving the shinies, even though it's like they're like fucking a green Cubone or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes the shinies aren't very good, but sometimes they are legendary. Like so good. Yeah,
so cute.
My first shiny I ever ran into was literally I've been playing Pokemon since like 1999, and my first shiny I ran into I think was in 2017. But since then I've run into quite a lot more. But I remember specifically I was flying back from Arizona. Like I got to Sky Harbor and I got to my gate early and I opened up Pokemon Sun and Moon and I just ran into a shiny, I forget exactly what the Pokemon was. Let me see. It's a Bug Fairy. That's all I know. I forget the name. It's one of my favorites, actually.
Fairy.
Yeah, Bug Fairy. So it's not Cutiefly. It's the evolution of Cutiefly. What does that evolve into? Evolves into Ribombee. Ribombee's shiny.
Oh, Ribombee is cute. I'm looking it up.
Ribombee's shiny is top tier. Like it is so good because it's a yellow like fairy bug with a brown scarf. But then when it is a shiny, it's a pink bug with a red scarf, and it's so good. And I just like randomly ran into it. And I was like,
that is really cute.
This thing is immediately going on my team. It's my first ever shiny, and it's also Bug Fairy, which is like a very good type. So yeah, I was stoked. And then since then, I've run into quite a lot of shinies. But I've also played the games for a lot longer than I used to back in the day. I used to just beat them and be like, all right, see you later.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair that you wouldn't run into many shinies then.
But this one was on my main game. Like it was while I was like working my way through the base game. So that's why I was like, I have a rule. I have 2 rules. One of them I've started to break recently, but if I ever run into a shiny, it has to be on my team for the rest of the game. So like regardless of typing, how cool it is, like if I
get like a pink Wobbuffet, it's on your team.
Yep, it's on my team. Which would suck, but it's on my team. And then the other one that I think I finally broke during Scarlet and Violet. I'll have to double check what my team was, but I always beat a game with a dragon type on my team. Which normally is pretty easy, but I also have another weird rule that the first time I play through a game, I don't use any old Pokemon. So during Scarlet and Violet, there was not a dragon type Pokemon that I liked that also helped my team spread. So I think I didn't do it. But yeah, those are my 3 rules typically, but the dragon one's starting to get tougher because they're not adding dragons that I like.
Oh no.
Yeah. But then when I play normally, it's easy. I can just go grab one of the like 9 million cool dragon type Pokemon. But cool. So any other gaming updates for you?
That's it for me, but let's talk about Elden Ring now for you.
Yeah, so Elden Ring came out. The DLC Shadow of the Erd Tree came out about a month ago at time of recording. What I did was I found out that if you change your time to New Zealand in the Xbox, you get it early. So I did that.
Oh my god.
So I'm still currently a New Zealander on my Xbox, and I haven't changed it. But yeah, so I got it early, started playing it. This was also while Nina was still, for 3 days, she was still in Mexico. So this is why I was able to put in 40 hours in like a week and a half. The DLC is incredible. I don't have a lot of complaints except for the final boss is like ridiculous and really like overtuned and is not fun. I beat him. I didn't have any satisfaction when I did it because I had to like I had to just like do a strategy that was like I basically played the whole game. There's a new weapon type called dry leaf arts, which is basically mixed like martial arts, and it's sick as fuck, and you can just like throw hands and beat the shit out of people. So I got those and I never switched from those. I'd occasionally use another weapon as like a side weapon, but I like went through the whole game just like throwing hands and it was sick. And then like I get to the final boss and I literally couldn't get anywhere with that. And I was like, this is so stupid. Like I had to change the way I played just to beat this boss. And I was like, that's not that fun.
It does suck.
Yeah. So that's my only issue is like he needs to be adjusted, whether I don't want to like spoil too much of it, but like there needs to be some adjustments. I think the fight itself is fine. It's just like there's like no gaps for openings, or there's like so much shit on screen that you can't see the boss, and then he just like comes at you through the like shit that you can't see and hits you, and you're like, great, sweet, I fucking love this. Like it's just frustrating as hell. So that's my only issue with it. Otherwise, I'm going to take a break from Elden Ring for a little bit because I played it like heavily for like a week and a half. And I also have my other thing that I'm going to talk about here in a second, is going to distract me for a while. But, I already have like 2 playthroughs in mind, like with the new stuff that I'm like excited to play through again. So it's a great game. Everybody should go play it. But for me, the big thing, I ordered this on Prime Day, is this little thing right here that I'm showing on screen. It's called a Miu Mini Plus, which if you're a fan of like retro handhelds, this thing is great. It basically like I can just play. I put a bunch of emulators on it, so it can play up to PlayStation 1, except for N64. So it can't play N64 games. But basically, I can play like, let me turn the volume down so we don't pick up. But like, I can fully play like Game Boy Advance games like perfectly, and they look really, really good. I'm trying to show Grace, but
I'm trying to see.
Yeah, I'll show you in person eventually, but it's great.
Okay.
I downloaded it. I bought it because I've been watching it for a while. I've been wanting to play it and buy one for a while. And I finally pulled the trigger because there was just like a really good combination of, like it was like $30 off, and it like was a promo code that supported a YouTuber that I really like. That's like all retro handhelds. But what is the main 2 reasons that I bought the thing for was to play. I can play these on my phone, but there's something nice about a little handheld, right? Like when you play like the buttons, like it's like Game Boy Advance size, except in a like old school Game Boy like layout, which is really nice. There's a ROM hack of a Pokemon game called Pokemon Unbound, which is a completely original Pokemon game that somebody made using the assets from Gen 3, which is like some of the best assets in Pokemon. And I think it has all Pokemon up to like Gen 6 in it. So they like redid sprites of like newer Pokemon and put them in that game. And I'm like, I know nothing about it except that like the starters you pick are like not like basic starters. They're like legendary, like pseudo legendary Pokemon, which are like Pokemon that you like. Dragonite is a pseudo legendary. or Garchomp is a pseudo legendary. Like those are the levels of starters that you get to pick in this game. And the story apparently is like super gripping, and I'm very excited to play that. Because
that is exciting.
Yeah, because like all I was thinking about while playing through Diamond and Pearl, I was like, this is great, but like the story is so boring.
Yeah, yes.
And so I was like, I want a good Pokemon game that has a good story, and I've been having my eye on this. I actually have it like the timing is perfect, and it's really funny because I put Pokemon Unbound on my Steam Deck and on my phone, and then I went to Chicago for a work trip, and then the deal happened, and so now I have it on 3 different things.
Perfect.
But the other thing, and this is something that, I mean, Pokemon Unbound might be something that you're interested in too, now that you're in the Pokemon world, and emulators are legal and free on the iPhone, so possibility.
Oh.
But the game that I know you'll like, because I don't know how much you're into like dating simulators, but I think you like that, because I remember when I brought up the romance side of Fire Emblem Three Houses, you thought it sounded interesting. So there's a game that came out back in like 1994 called Tokimeki Memorial, which stands for like Heartthrob High or something like that. Like it never got an English translation, but that game is the reason, like anytime there is any kind of romance system in a game, whether it's like Fire Emblem, Persona, Baldur's Gate, even, like they took inspiration from this game, and somebody finally back in 2022 finally English translated it like on their own, and I played it for about 2 hours last night, and it is so fucking addicting. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, so you basically, and what's really interesting is like normally when you play like a game like this that's set in high school, it's like 1 year, right? It's all 3 years of high school in Japan, like.
Oh, geez.
And so, but like, what's cool is you make a choice on what you're going to do for the week, and it just like you do the activity every day for the week, and then you choose again. And so it's really quick, right? You're not like choosing something to do every day like you do in Persona. But what's cool is like, yeah, there's really not a lot of guidance. You just like, you can work out, you can study science, you can study art. You can do your like club activities, or you can like on Sundays or holidays, you can call a girl and be like, hey, do you want to go on a date? And then you set up a date for the future. And like all these things raise and lower stats. And as you're choosing to do things, so like, for example, what I did was like, I'm like trying to imitate like what I did in high school. So I'm like, I'm in sports right now because I'm like a freshman, but by the time I'm halfway through my second year, I'm going to quit, which is what I did in real life.
Just see how that works out.
I'm just curious how do I replicate what happened to me in high school. But like I was working out a lot, like choosing to just go on jogs and stuff, and so I started running into like the athletic girls, and then I started doing science, and I ran into the science girl, right? Like it doesn't, you don't just like get to choose to go talk to these girls. It's completely random. And I like watched a long video on it. It's like you can fully like work out and never run into a certain girl like that's supposed to show up. So it's all very random. And the dialogue's not like in a way where you'd think it's like it's the 90s, right? So and it's made by Japanese developers in the 90s. So there's definitely some, you know, misogyny and shit, but it hasn't been too bad to where I'm like, ew, yet, but I'm very early, so I can report back on that. But it's just really addicting because you're just like choosing a thing, watching numbers go up, an event happens, you make a choice. Did you do good? Did you do bad? You call somebody, go on a date. Did it go good? Did it go bad? Like it's very simple. It's like I'm like shocked it was never converted to like a mobile game, because like all it is just clicking buttons, right? You're just making choices really quickly. It reminds me of like it gives me the same like dopamine of a game called Game Dev Story, where you're just like, I think I've talked about it on this show like a year ago when I was like addicted to it. You just like make choices and things happen, and like based on you're not like stressed, right? You're not like, okay, I gotta press this button at this time, do this thing at this time. Like you're just making a choice and then something happens, which is like really satisfying, right, to the brain, because you're like,
right,
press the button, something happens, right? But in this, there's like hundreds of things that can happen. And what's nice is I've heard that the an average playthrough only takes about like 3 hours. So like you're going to get a lot of different playthroughs and a lot of different choices and a lot of different events and things like that. And it's like a perfect little game to have on like a little handheld. So I'm very curious to see how much I like it when things are all said and done, because I love that side of Persona, right? The friendship side of it, where you're developing all these relationships and telling people, like helping them through their struggles and any kind of events that they have while the game is happening. So I'm curious, like it felt like necessary to play this game because I'm like, this is where that like skeleton was developed, was this game, and then it inspired so many others. So I'm very curious where it goes from here.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how I feel about certain tropes in like literature. I recently started going back and reading Agatha Christie novels.
Oh, nice.
And it's like, I can identify exactly like, oh, this thing started here.
Right.
And then like, now it's like super predictable because everyone's been using all these tropes that she started. But like, yeah, stuff like that.
I've always thought about that too, where I'm like, can you imagine like reading a trope for the first time? Like how shocked you would be, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, it is interesting. Because I feel like it's duty as like just trying to be like literate, right? In the field that you choose to be, like whether or like the field that you're interested in, whether it's like reading or just general tropes, or like for me, video games. That's another reason why I wanted this retro handheld is like, I was born in 1993. I didn't get my first like video game console until 1999, and I didn't know what I was doing until like 2004. So like, there's so many games that I just missed that I've never touched. So I'm like, I need to go back and play these for my own like interpretation, to be like, holy shit, this developer's been doing this for this long, kind of thing. Like that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah. You got to send me the name of that one, the visual novel.
I'll send you the ROM too, because I had to like patch it and stuff, which was not the easiest thing, but now I can just send it to you, and then you can download Delta on iPhone and just play it. The name reminds me of another one that was like popular in like the after 2010, I think. That was like it was like a romancy. Yeah. Doki that got like that turn Club. Like it's really creepy later. Yeah, I haven't played that one either, but that's been on my radar and I've been wanting to play it. If you play that, it's free on Steam. Oh really? Yeah, it's a free game. So if you do play that, I'm so down, because I know it, but I haven't played it myself. Should we do an episode? I mean, you're the third host, so whatever you want. Let me see how long. I think that it's not the longest game, but it's not short either. But let me see. That was 4 hours. Main story's 4 hours. That's shorter than how long it took me to fucking play Little Kitty Big City. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I am super down to play that because it's free. It's also on Switch, but that one's not free. But that one is called Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. So you have the options. And this was kind of supposed to be the year of visual novels anyways. Which was it? Yeah, we started with like Sonic, the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then followed up with Sucker for Love, which are two visual novels. So we were like kind of on that. And then next month, the announcement is we're doing a doubleheader of Emily is Away 1 and 2, which I would recommend for you because it's also like, it's like peak early 2000s. It's like a visual novel without any like art. It all takes place in a like AIM chat box kind of thing. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah. So there's two of those games. The first one, Emily is Away, is free, I'm pretty sure. So, and then the other one is like $2 or something like that. There's also Emily is Away 3, but it takes place in like a Facebook style thing. And I was like, that kind of takes away the mysticism a little bit for me. I'm like, I don't want to like be in Facebook, even if it's fake. Yeah. But yeah, so those are the games for next month. They're both very, very short. So, I mean, plenty of time to play them. But yeah, that's basically it. I will definitely send you. So you like video essays, right? Like on YouTube? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Tim Rogers from Action Button, I think is what it's called. He did a 5 hour and 56-minute video on Tokimeki Memorial. So, which is like one of the reasons, and this came out in like 2020, and this is like one of the reasons it like became popular again. Like, I'm like, worth noting, it's only the first 2 hours where he actually talks about the game and the background of it and like how to play it and stuff. And then the next 2-3 hours are actual Let's Play, because at the time of recording, there was no English translation. He speaks fluent Japanese, and that's the only reason he was able to play it. So he did the Let's Play to make sure that people that were interested in it could experience it in some way. But so yeah, you can watch just the first like 2 hours, which I think is more your amount.
Yeah. I think it would cap out after 2 hours.
Yeah. And it'll definitely get you hooked, because I was watching it while I was setting up my Mii U Mini. I was like, I'm so excited to play. Like, it's so great. Worth noting that his review is based off the PlayStation version, which is the quote unquote superior version, but it's impossible to translate. So the translated one is the Super Nintendo one, which so far has been basically the same, just with like slightly lesser art, because obviously it's like a completely different console. But I'll send that your way, and then we can do a whole podcast like show about Tokimeki Memorial and talk about all of our experiences with that game, because I feel like it's possible, because I think there's like 20 different like possibilities of like who you can date in that game, and it's all practically random unless you use guides, which is kind of crazy. So it's pretty intense, but I think you would like it. It's not too like, you don't get bogged down in like a lot of other stuff that games like Persona have, where it's like you have to do all these other things too. It's like, no, you have like 6 choices every week, and that's about it. You know, it's not too complicated. I wish how life should be. You only have a couple choices, but no.
Right. If only you could just make the choice and then it's done. You know,
then it's the next weekend already. Yeah, right.
I love that.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the gym 7 days this week.
Yeah, 7 days. Done. I have there's no doubt about it. Rain, sleet, snow, shine, sickness, whatever. I'm going because I said I would. I wish it was that easy. Okay, sweet. Well, that was a fun intermission. I'm glad to hear more about your Pokemon journey without actually hearing about your like actual Pokemon game.
Main Pokemon journey.
It's a running joke at this point.
Pokemon side quest.
Yeah, but that'll be that episode is going to end up being like 4 hours long when it's all said and done. I feel like
maybe it's a long game.
It is a long game. Yeah, we definitely broke the rules because it clocked in. I think it was 32 hours for me. So
long game, long talk.
But hey, I don't care because it's Pokemon, and I literally I don't care.
You found a way to incorporate it.
Right, exactly.
That's all that matters.
Okay, well, are you ready to talk about spoilers?
Yeah, let's do it. You go.
Okay. Well, we'll see you guys in a second after this quick break, and then that'll be it. We'll start talking about spoilers. All right, welcome back. This is your final warning for spoilers for Little Kitty Big City. We'll be discussing some of our favorite like events and quests and stuff. Honestly, shouldn't take that long. And if you're not that worried, you can totally like listen to this. But I think discovering a lot of this stuff for yourself will be the most fun and enjoyable aspect for that. But before we get into that, Grace, tell me about all of your technical difficulties.
Wait, did you get the video I sent
should I watch that right now?
Sure.
Okay, let's see.
So I sent Eric a video of the little kitty just walking straight through a wall.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he just went right through the wall.
Yeah, so I played Little Kitty Big City on the Switch. And now I might have been quite possibly the worst person to pick for this game to have this type of technical issues, but also for this game in general, because I am the person that goes shopping in a mall, walks into a store, walks out of the store 5 minutes later, and has no idea which direction I was coming from. So I just kept getting stuck.
Also worth noting that you've like been living in the same area most of your life, and I'm assuming you've only been to the same 3 malls that are in that area.
Right. Exactly, and I still can't figure it out.
And they're not complicated. One of them's literally like a clover shape.
I am so directionally challenged, though. It's not even like I just get turned around.
Yeah.
I don't know what way's up or down half the time. And so being in this little city, you don't have a map at first.
No.
So I was just like wandering around in circles being like, have I seen this before?
To be fair, a lot of the structures do look very similar from the perspective of a tiny cat.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then also, so then you have both of your like joysticks.
Mm-hmm.
One controls where you're moving and the other one controls where you're looking. I am notoriously terrible at having to use 2 joysticks for like the camera and shit.
Yeah.
But it also, some of it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, no. Some of the stuff you sent me, I was like, this is like that walking through the wall and stuff. Like that's not on you.
Right. So anyways, there were a couple times where I was unwinding with some herbal refreshment while playing this game, and I literally got motion sick because I was like couldn't control the camera well, and like I was just like, it is just like spinning. I'm like so confused.
That's so funny.
So yeah, so my technical difficulties were partially my own fault.
Yeah.
But I don't think entirely my own fault, because there were like times where I'd be having a conversation with like, there's some ducklings in the game, for example.
God, they're so
and like
cute.
For some reason, the camera was just like, not only was it like under, like my viewpoint was under their feet for some reason, but then like the text also like was not fully visible.
Oh no!
Like the text bubble, would like get stuck somewhere else.
That's so bad. Yeah, because I was gonna say I definitely had some issues with the camera when I would talk to those ducklings because they're in weird places. But like I could always read the text. Like the text was always there.
Yeah. And I would get like stuck sometimes where like I'd be like, oh, look, there's like a little walkway I can go down that way. And maybe there's something hidden there, because like there's shit hidden everywhere where you wouldn't even think. So you just start exploring like all the nooks and crannies. But then I got stuck in the nooks and crannies and like literally had to turn the game off and turn it back on because I couldn't move the cat anymore.
That's so funny. I had one issue like that where it was when I completed the quest for the dog. Did you do the dog quest?
Yeah, was that the balls or the bones?
The balls.
Okay,
the rainbow balls. So like, I don't know how I did it, but like I got the mask or the hat, and as I did that, I like opened up the map at the same time, and so I exited out of the map, but then the little notification that I got the hat was there permanently. So I had to like fully reset everything. That was the only tech issue I really had, I think. But yeah, from the looks of things on that video you sent me, the way you're controlling the camera looked fine. So I don't think it was really too much on you. I think it's just the fact that the Switch is a 7-year-old console running on 10-year-old, like equipment, basically.
Right.
So it's just showing its age. And but did you have fun though otherwise?
I did.
Okay,
I did. Besides the motion sickness, I realized I just needed to not play it with my herbal refreshments happening in tandem. So yeah, no, I did. And there's like, I mean, I don't know, the main objective of the game is to get home. Right. My main objective was to try to collect all the hats, which
there's a lot.
I still have there's a lot. I think I have like 2 or 3 left.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I got most of them.
Okay,
but my favorite was the little traffic cone.
I noticed. Yeah, I think mine was the astronaut helmet. That was my favorite.
That one is pretty cute.
Because I don't like the ones that cover up his ears. His ears are too cute. Any of the ones that were like full hoods, I was like, no, I want to see the little cat ears.
Yeah, like the melon head or whatever.
Which is funny. Yeah. It's hilarious. Like, don't get me wrong, the melon head is very funny. I did wear the Shiba Inu one and the duck one for a while because I felt like I earned those ones.
Well, the Shiba Inu one was important.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't complete the giving the dog a bone achievement. Like, you couldn't unless you had that on.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I gave the dogs bones before.
Really?
Yeah, without the hood.
They like bark at you. And
Yeah,
then
you come from a back. You come from the backside. And they don't
you
see
snuck up on them. If you're wearing the Shiba Inu hat, they like acknowledge you as a dog, and they don't bark at you.
That's incredible. Yeah. I didn't experiment with that. This? I didn't try it.
Oh shit. That was the first thing I tried when I got it. I was like, I wonder if those dogs won't bark at me.
That's incredible. I love that. Yeah, see? This is why we play these games. Yeah. Different experiences. That's so funny.
Should we go over the actual plot?
Yeah, we can go over the actual plot.
Okay, you go.
So basically, like I set up in the beginning, you fall out of which is very unsafe. The owner should be written up for this, allowing the cat to hang out on a very small wedge outside their apartment. But yeah, you fall all the way,
like a skyscraper, by the way,
like a 15-story building,
the tallest building in the game.
Yeah, and you fall all the way down, and basically, your whole goal is you finally meet up with like a crow, and the crow's like, "Hey, give me 25 shinies, and I'll give you a fish, and you can start climbing," and that's your way of getting back up. And the crows are very funny, where it's like,
I love the crows.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh yeah, what are shinies? Well, they're priceless." Well, he's like, "Well, if they're priceless, shouldn't I get 25 fish for that?" He's like, "Well, they're not. They're priceless to me, okay? Or they're useless. Only a crow can use them." But yeah,
which they're not wrong.
Yeah, it's true. I also loved the crows. Just like when you make your way up to the top of the tower and you go through the one of the apartments, the crow's just in there and he's like digging through a drawer and he's like, "Don't say anything."
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. But
there were just shinies everywhere in that room.
It was so good. I know. I loved that little apartment. It was so fun to like just kind of cruise through. I found myself not sprinting a lot in this game. Like it was fun to just kind of stroll. But yeah, you basically have to get the fish and it allows you to climb ivy, and then that unlocks different parts of the game basically. And the more fish you have, the more it's basically Breath of the Wild's like climbing system where you have a stamina meter, except it's a little paw print, and you can climb up ivy, and that unlocks, like I said, different parts of the area, and then you unlock more fish and higher places, and you just keep getting higher and higher up until eventually you're ready to climb all the way up to the top of the apartment again. So that's the basic plot, but the real game itself is like meeting all the animals and doing their quests and talking to them. Did you get the achievement that you talked to all the animals?
No.
I did. I got them all.
Dang.
It was cool.
I gotta go back.
I was so excited. I'm curious which ones.
I missed.
Yeah, I'm curious. Maybe you missed the one inside the Geku store. Did you go in there?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you talked
I feel like I talked the cat in there, right?
Mm-hmm. There's a cat and a bird. And then, curious. Maybe there's... I wonder which one you missed. But
I don't know. Maybe
you got it and you didn't realize it, because I have a feeling
maybe.
Yeah. But the real standouts to me were the duckling quest. I loved the chameleon quest. The chameleon quest is hilarious. And then the what's it called? Trying to think what the other good one. Oh, I really like the sunbathing cat in the nap area up top on the satellite dish. He's really good.
I didn't finish that quest, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, at that point, I was like, I just need to finish this game.
That one's so funny. You just bring him a bagel.
I love that.
Yeah, he's like,
oh yeah.
He's like, it's a little cat laying down in a satellite dish on the top of a building, and it's like the best nap spot in the game. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, oh yeah, I only move from this spot if that bell rings and there's food there. And he's like, one time they rang the bell and there wasn't food there, and that cost me 5 steps I'll never get back.
Yeah.
And so you have to go get him a bagel, bring it all the way back up to the building, and then get it, which is really good. I loved all the nap spots. Those are so cute. Like,
they were really cute.
You have to
They're all sparkly.
Mm-hmm. And the music's all nice and stuff. It's so good. Yeah, that's super fun. But I think the longest two are the duckling one and the chameleon one for sure.
Yeah. Which the duckling one gets you a map. So like if you're going to play the game, try to find the duckling mission first.
Yes. It's like very central. I think you'll get it after, because I don't think you can get there until you get your first fish, right? Because you have to climb over a wall. So yeah, once you get your first fish, then you're able to get the map. Tanuki's very funny as well.
The Tanuki is really cute.
Yeah, the Tanuki that's able to like bend time and space with the sewer system is very, very cute.
Right, powered by feathers.
Yes, I know. Yeah, the birds. I got an achievement for catching a bird midair, which was fun. Nice. So if it's starting to fly and you get it, you get an achievement. One of the things I tried to do was I was on the top of a building and I saw a bird, so I tried to like land on top of it, but it didn't count because I landed directly on top of it, but it didn't count as like a pounce. So that would have been hilarious.
That would have been good.
But yeah, the ducklings are funny as hell because they're all 4 of them missing and they're all up to their own no good, which is super funny. I love the one that's in the arcade who's like dressed up like Ryu from Street Fighter.
Yes, and he's like just watching the Street Fighter thing loop.
Yeah.
Like the demo.
Yeah, it's the attract mode on there. It's so funny. And then the one with I like the one inside the washing machine too, or the dryer. And it's just like going in circles, and he's just dizzy as hell when he gets out of there. It's so good.
Yeah. So the duckling mission is this duck lost all of its ducklings. Yeah. They all got like sidetracked, and you have to go out and like find each of the ducklings, and then they follow you. And then once you get them all, you go back to the duck, who then gives you a map. That being said,
you get the map first. You get the map to do because he gives you the map locations of the ducks.
That's right. You
get the mask
and the fish.
You get the hood, the duck hood when you finish that mission.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, but so each duckling has there's like a catch to like you found them, but now you have to figure out how to get them to leave what they're doing because they're all very invested in whatever they're
children.
Doing.
They're like little iPad kids. Like
yeah, 1,000%. So yeah, like with the arcade, I think you have to like unplug something or like
you have to trigger
water
you have to trigger the water to spill onto the outlet and it like shocks it.
Yeah. And then I can't remember what the dryer situation
you have
was.
to bonk your head. You have to bonk your head into a button to turn off the dryer.
That's right.
And then there's one that's stuck in a vent, like the fan on the roof is blowing him up into the air.
And
then the other one is in a puddle in a convenience store, thinking it's a pond.
Oh, right. But you can't touch the water because you're a cat. You have to like push this fan to blow it away.
Yeah. He's like, oh, well, that's just a puddle. We can get you back to your real pond. He's like, well, you'll have to get me out of here. And then the cat's like, well, that's not going to happen because of like water, yuck. And the duck's like, so I can stay in here forever then? And the cat's like, oh, dang it. Like, it's so like that. I couldn't write down like any of the actual dialogue because it was so fast. Like that dialogue was so quippy and funny that it's like, there's no way that me repeating exactly the lines would be as good.
Yeah. And it has to be in the context. Like
it is very good.
It's all very funny, but it's funny because it catches you off guard.
Yes.
In the context that it's in.
Right. Yeah. Did you get the phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
You can get a phone, and then you get a phone that's dipped in concrete.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
That one's funny.
I did do that.
I wanted to meet the celebrity cat. I was disappointed that you couldn't meet that celebrity cat.
I know. Did you do the little photo shoot?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Of course, you have to.
Did a big stretch and took a picture.
Nice.
Yeah, that one was funny. So random too. It's like a bug with a phone. I'm like, everybody else is a mammal in the game, and there's just like a bug.
There is a bug that is the social media manager for a famous internet cat.
Yeah.
And like he dropped his phone in cement and you have to like get him a new working phone. And then the way you get these things like phones and bagels and bread and stuff is by like tripping humans that are walking by and then stealing their shit and running as fast as you can.
Just up to no good.
Dude, sometimes though they get mad. Like sometimes I would like set my switch down and my cat would just be standing there. I'm not intentionally tripping anybody. And then they would trip, but then they turn around and like I don't know if they were like kicking or hitting or whatever the cat. But then they would turn around and be all like mad, and my thing would be vibrating. Like,
oh my God.
My cat got all scared.
Yeah, the only time I ever got like messed with was when I was in like a building I wasn't supposed to be in, like the construction site or the convenience store.
They pick you up and carry you outside if they catch you and you're causing mischief.
Like when you knock down all the jam jars.
Oh yeah.
With the mayor. The mayor is legendary. He's so funny. Just like pretending to sleep so you won't talk to him after you do it. It's so funny. Also, I'm like curious like how old those cats are, because every cat in the game is massive compared to you. They're like huge. They're like all Maine Coons.
Maybe they are.
Yeah.
But you are explicitly a little kitty.
Yeah.
So like,
there is a conversation later that you have with the ducklings about being an adult, which is very cute. He's like, I don't think I'm an adult. And then they give you like a little test, and then you fail, and it's like, cool, I guess I'm not an adult yet.
It's just somewhere
cute.
in between.
Yeah, it's very cute. The ducklings are really cute. I like them a lot. I really liked the one dog, like Big Potato, that was like nice to you, because he's the one in the opening cutscene that scares you off the second ledge, and so he like apologizes for it. It's so funny.
Aww.
Yeah, it's super cute. Tanuki's pretty funny, especially like at the end when you're walking up the apartment complex and he's like, I think Tanuki's a she, is like talking to no one. And then you're like, who are you talking to? And like, oh, Geku, which is this world's like Godzilla. And it's like this giant statue of Geku. And Tanuki's like, yeah, I have my lunch up here every day and talk to Geku. And like, it hasn't talked back yet. And like your cat's like, oh, is it the real Geku? And like, I'm not sure. Like, how do you know it's not sure? Well, I've talked to it every day and it hasn't responded yet, but if it does, then it might be the real Geku. Like, it's just like all these hypothetical things because Tanuki's a scientist. It's so funny.
Yeah. The Tanuki was so cute.
Yeah.
Like scientist raccoon dog.
Yes.
Situation that's like only available in Japan.
Yeah, right. I always forget that they're real. Like, they sound fake. Like, they sound fake as hell. Like a raccoon dog. Like, that's legitimately what they are.
I want one so bad.
How big are they?
They have to be dog sized, right? Because it's a raccoon dog.
Yeah.
Hold on.
How big are Tanukis? They only weigh up to 15 pounds. That's a small dog. They're so funky looking.
They look so cute.
Yeah. They live up to 11 years.
Damn.
People also ask, why are Tanuki balls so big?
They made a whole Ghibli movie about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
I haven't, but I know about it.
Okay. If anyone out there's seen it, I don't know. Let me know.
Let me know. We can talk about Tanuki balls.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think. How did you feel like the controls were? Like, we didn't really discuss that too much. I felt like they were pretty solid. The only time I ever had any frustration was with the fisherman part. That was a pain in the ass. But
that was a pain in the ass because so this one, there's a mission where you have to steal is it the last fish?
It wasn't the last fish I got. It was the third fish I got.
Okay. Well, one of the fish that you get, you have to steal it from this fisherman. So you have to set up near his bike and then watch him fish. And then when he gets the fish, he like puts his fishing pole next to his bike and then the fish falls.
Right.
In that like split second, you have to be able to grab it and run. But there's puddles everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. And so if you touch the puddle, you'll jump back and drop the fish and he'll grab the fish and then you have to start the whole process over again. That did take me like a lot of tries.
Which would be fine, right? If he caught the fish every time.
Right. No, you have to wait like 3 castings.
Yeah, it's awful. That was the worst part of the game for me. Was like that part. I was like, oh, okay, I failed. Whatever. I'll just try again right now. And then I'm like waiting a minute and a half between tries, and I'm like, oh my god, like
yeah, the stakes were high with that.
Yeah,
one.
And then like the worst.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was the only like real challenging thing because like for whatever reason I didn't have any struggles with the other fish. Like the one that I got from the convenience store went really well. Like and then the other one that you could just you trick somebody who's very rude to this cat that's like spraying their garden.
Yeah.
and you get sprayed, so you turn off their hose and they go, and then you just go inside their house and eat their dinner.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most chaotic one. But then the first one you get is for free. But the other like big quest is the chameleon one, which I thought was hilarious. Like there's a full character arc going on with that quest with that chameleon.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the people what the quest is?
Yeah. So basically, you find a chameleon, and the chameleon's like, "How did you see me?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And the chameleon is like clearly visible, like extremely, extremely visible.
Yeah, like neon green.
Yeah, on like a brown wall. And they're like, "Oh, you must have weird eyes." And the cat's like, my eyes aren't weird. Like, and so he basically challenges you to find him, I think 6 times. And
I think it's 8.
8 times? Jesus. And honestly, none of them are hard because every single time he's extremely, extremely visible. And the final time that you like, what's funny is you find out that he's like he has a lot of anxiety, and he's afraid of heights, and like the last 2 places he goes to are like really high up, so you have to like pep talk him. And that's another thing we didn't mention, like you get dialogue choices in this game, which I was like not expecting. You get dialogue choices.
It doesn't impact the
game.
Response.
Yeah. No, I think it does, because like there's certain things where like what you say is like clearly referencing what was just said. Like you'll say the thing and they'll respond to exactly what you said. Like for example, the duckling one. Like you could probably say that you feel like an adult, and that would probably change the dialogue a little bit. But you basically like you find the chameleon 8 times, and then the final time, he like freaks out and like he's like concentrating on his breathing or something like that, and he fully goes invisible except for his little top hat.
Right.
And then that's how you get the top hat accessory, because the cat is like, "Oh, well, I can see you besides the giant black hat you're wearing." And so then he's finally invisible, and he actually did scare me on the way back up the apartment, because if you do that quest, he shows up invisible in the apartment, which is cool, because I think I saw a Let's Play where he doesn't show up invisible at that point.
So maybe they didn't finish that quest.
Yeah. So, which I thought was really cool. And the dialogue, it's a legit, like, good story. Like, it's him kind of coming to grips. At first, he's coming to grips with the fact that he's not as good as he thought. And then it turns out that he's, like, the best. He just didn't know, because he wasn't, practicing his breathing exercises. He wasn't dealing with his anxiety, and he was being hindered by that. And then when he overcomes that, he becomes perfectly invisible. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
It's a really, really cool.
Really cute.
Yeah. It's definitely worth doing. The spots are really fun, and they do help you find new areas, because if you're looking for them, you'll find spots that you never would have found. Like, there's 2 different spots that he goes to that will lead you to like hidden soccer balls that you can hit into nets, which is cool.
Yeah, which is one of the quests.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Or achievements.
Yeah, I loved I alluded to it a little bit in the first half of the catching the yellow bird. And you have to pretend to be Boss Cat, which is like one of the villains of Geku, which again is the Godzilla stand-in. And as a Godzilla fan, I was like, absolutely, this is great. Like, this is so funny. And then the when you walk into the store after, because you get the quest from the bird's brother, which is the cat that the other owner also owns, kind of thing. And which the owner of the cat and the bird is just passed out in the Geku store, and the cat is just like making biscuits on his back.
It's like literally for like the whole game.
Yeah, and it's so funny. But when you get the quest and be like, "Hey, can you capture my friend or my sister," and then let her go, and she'll feel like she beat Boss Cat. And when you come back and you turn in the quest, the cat's like, "Hello, person I've never met before," which is always funny to me when stuff like that happens. It's so good. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other quests that like kind of stood out to me. Because the other ones were pretty. They were kind of just like tutorials, like on how to do things, like capturing the birds, which you don't even need the bread, by the way. I'd never use the bread.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you're just good, like if you just come up from behind them, you'll always get it. Like
if you're just good,
if you're just
games,
good at the game,
you'll
Grace,
get it. You'll get it easy peasy. Meanwhile, I'm like fucking getting motion sickness.
You're like getting motion sickness. Like, I find the bread. Where's the bagel? So funny,
dude. Yeah, I would say that the controls were pretty straightforward. I prefer games where I don't have any control of the camera and it's all just very stable.
We got to get you on Resident Evil 1.
Okay.
With the fixed camera.
Love that.
Fixed camera and tank controls. Which is basically
dude.
Like the most complicated controls ever.
For some reason, the freaking camera control, it doesn't matter. Like even back in the day, like Halo, always stuck in some kind of corner. Like
that's just
not good.
If you
have to look and walk at the same time, like no.
If you can't overcome that, like that'll limit you quite a bit.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Like there's so many games out there that you don't need it. Like you're fine. There's plenty of fixed camera angle games, which is what you want, by the way, if you're looking for fixed, either no camera, right, where it's just making choices, or fixed camera. That's what you need. But
Link's Awakening was
fixed camera. Yep.
Fixed camera, and Luigi's Mansion.
Fixed camera.
Also fixed camera.
That's the same. So that fixed camera is very similar to like the old school Resident Evil games. So I think you'd like those. They're horror games. They're fun.
I do love being scared.
Shoot zombies and stuff.
Love that.
Yeah. I think the remake of the original is on the Switch, so worth looking into. It's a 15-hour game, I think. But is there any other quests that kind of stood out to you?
I mean, I think honestly my favorite part of the game was interacting with the crows and like giving them their shinies and getting all the little hats.
Yeah.
I just think, first of all, I love crows. I think crows are incredible. They're so smart.
No one could have guessed that with your love for raccoons and possums.
Yeah. Yes. I love the unlovable ones.
I feel like they're all lovable now, though, right? Like,
I think that the tides have turned and people love them now.
Yes.
Yeah. So the crows always had really funny little quips, and the hats are all really cute, and it's just satisfying to give crows little shinies. You know,
you also get little quips every time you get a hat too, which is cool. There's like a little description about them. So the game is just like it's so hard to put into terms like how funny this game is without you playing it yourself. So I think that's kind of the big thing is like, we can tell you it's really cute to look at. It's really, really fun to explore this small Japanese like town. Like that was my favorite thing, honestly. Like aside from the quest, I love just being like, oh, what's over here? What's over here? Like, what's this next? Like, cause it's just like, there's so much character built into this small little town. And then, we can talk. Is there any other things you want to talk about, or do you want to talk about the ending?
We can talk about the ending.
The ending is adorable. Like, the ending is you get to the top, and then your owner gets home, and they give you a collar, and then you get to put in a name. What did you name your cat?
Kitty.
I named it what I'm going to eventually name a male black cat that I get named. I want to name it Ferdinand.
Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Like Archduke?
Kind of. No, it was just something. So when Monster Hunter World came out, like 5-6 years ago, there's the palicos, which are the like human, like mini human sized like cats that like they're anthropomorphic and stuff, but they look like cats. Like they still have like cat paws and everything. They're not like Lola Bunny over here. They're like little cat people. I made one, and it was a black cat with like a little bit of white scruff, and Nina named it Ferdinand. And then I played that game for 250 hours, and Ferdinand was with me the whole time, so I became very attached to the name Ferdinand. So that's
meanwhile, my inspiration was Monsters Inc.
Oh, nice. I was gonna say, just
that's so funny.
Just boo.
Yeah.
Side note:
we were both inspired by monsters.
Yeah, it's true. How funny. Have you seen it's like an old Tumblr post, I think, but like the pitch for a Lilo and Stitch or Lilo and Boo, like movie that somebody wanted. Like it's a Tumblr thing.
I think you sent that to me.
Yeah. The idea of like them going to college and like it being a crossover.
Being roommates.
Oh,
yeah.
Incredible. It'd be perfect.
That'd be so cute.
They'd be of age right now, probably too. So like, it'd be good. That needs to happen, but it won't ever happen.
That does need to happen. Yeah, that was a really sweet ending. Mm-hmm. And then you get to take a nap on your favorite spot.
And then the crow comes and introduces himself with a very... I forget what the crow's name. Do you remember what it is?
No.
It's like four names.
Yeah, it was very regal.
Yeah, and then the cat's like, should I call you that from now on? He's like, absolutely not. But the other thing is, when I went into and you can kind of walk around your apartment a little bit. There's actually, I think there's a couple like references to games in there.
Yeah,
I forget what
there were.
I forget what they were, but at the time I remember I noted, I was like, oh shit, that's like a reference to a video game, which is cute. I'm trying to remember.
Also, I'd like to correct the record. There are 9 spots to find the chameleon.
Wow, 9 spots. Yeah. That's quite a bit.
Yeah. And you certainly have to do them like all in one sitting, because I didn't, and then I couldn't remember what the hint was.
Yeah. And
you can't go back.
Yeah, you can. In the quest, the quest log says the hint.
Damn.
Okay. So one of the plushes is Nobu Jr. from Snacko, which I don't know what that is, but to me, it looks like it's another game. To me, it looked like a Palico, like from Monster Hunter. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot of references in the apartment, which is cute. But yeah, I thought it was super cute. I thought the ending where it's like, oh yeah, my human got me a gift. And then the realization that like the crow's like, you had a name this whole time? I was like, yeah, of course I had a name. Like,
it's so cute.
Yeah, it's just a cute game. It's a good time. It's very new, so that's why it's like $25, but I'm sure this will be a game that's like constantly on sale for like $10. And like, at $10, it's a no-brainer for sure. At $25, honestly, it's like worth it, especially if you have like young kids. I feel like this is a great game to like learn how to play games. Like, if young Grace had this game, she may be able to use twin sticks and control the camera.
Possible.
Yeah,
it's possible.
We may never.
But yeah, and you don't actually have to stick to like all the quests while you're playing the game, because you can just wander around and explore and like crawl through little holes and stuff.
And then
jump into trash cans.
Yeah, trash cans and boxes. And then when you do beat the game, the crow marks everything on your map, so you can go back and like be a completionist. It shows you like where all of the yeah, I know you're close to getting there. So
yeah,
I think I was like 65% done, and I was like, I missed a lot of hats, so I think that's mostly where mine are.
I was like in the 80%
range. Look at you. So that's another reason why it took much longer. Because
I was trying to get shinies everywhere.
Yeah, so I definitely didn't focus on that. Some of them
are really hard to get to.
Yeah, so that's why you want the completionist route more than not. And if I go, let's see how long to beat on the completionist route.
Probably still not 6 hours.
Yeah, 6.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, there we go.
There you go. So don't worry about it too much. Well, cool. Grace, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Nah, no.
No, you know. Like, you already know.
Don't find me.
No. Don't find me.
Yeah. So I have my own podcast called In God's Name, an Unseen Cult. You can find me on In God's Name Pod. There's a link tree in there. You can find all kinds of other stuff via that. I have some bonus episodes coming out soon for if you're interested in cults and learning about cults and stuff like that. And season 2 is well underway.
Oh, that's so exciting. So
yeah, go ahead and follow me over there. Yeah. It'd be great.
It's a great podcast. It's a very quick listen to. It's the opposite of this podcast where it's like a complete opposite. My brother-in-law is currently going through our backlog right now, and it's taking him fucking forever. And I'm like, we only come out with like one episode a month typically. We were doing 2 for a while there, but yeah, it's a very good podcast. I'm very excited for season 2. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this game, please like go play it, go support it. It seems like it's the first game from Salt Rock, I think. No, Double Dagger. Salt Rock is Dredge, which is another great game. That's a game you would love. That is a fishing game with eldritch horror stuff. It's great.
Okay.
But yeah, Double Dagger, I think this is their first game, and it's really good, and I want more of it. Like, I would play a second game, like, of this for sure. Like, if they made it like Little Kitty, Bigger City, I would play it. Like, I would be so down. Or if they got clever and somehow did one based in, like, Chicago or something like that, have some takes on, like, U.S. cities, it'd be cool. But
San Francisco.
San Francisco would be perfect, actually, because you'd have a lot of different stuff.
So many fish.
So many fish. Oh, yeah. Or Seattle. Seattle would be good, too. Seattle would be really good. Call us, Double Dagger. We got ideas. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. It really helps the show grow, whether it's on Spotify or Apple Music. If it's your first time here, definitely do that. That's very helpful. If it's not your first time here and you enjoyed this, share it to a friend that might enjoy this episode, whether it's me talking about Elden Ring or talking about Pokemon Sleep or the game Little Kitty Big City. Everyone likes cats, I think, even if people say they're not cat people. I feel like they do. Mm-hmm. I think that's another thing with people coming around. I don't really meet people that are like, I can't stand cats anymore.
Yeah.
So this episode's for everyone. But yeah, you can also join our Discord that's in the description. It's LFG, Leveling Friends Group. We got a lot of cool stuff going on in there all the time. And if you want to follow us on social media, it's Short Long Pod. And Jess and I's our personal stuff is in the description of those pages, so you can just follow us there. I really appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Oh,
yeah, it was pretty sick.
I'll have to look that up because I don't want to see it in person. I would prefer not to be in Japan at that time.
I mean, give it a shot. The cicadas are cool. It's like
we get cicadas here. They're loud as fuck. They're all over the place.
But are they wet?
They're not. The cicadas are not wet. They're not wet cicadas.